Hey folks, I'm Jeff and welcome to my workshop, the Raging Deacon Workshop. Always good to have you here. We have got another Tools of Ohio episode for you today. Now, back in November, or no, maybe around December, 357 Magdad had his annual charity auction on eBay, and I was the lucky winner of this beautiful rigid pipe wrench. And as you know, rigid, made right here in Elyria, Ohio. We can see that. And I love this thing. This is a beautiful wrench. And I was out and about, as I usually am, on the flea market circuit shortly after that when I came across this rigid adjustable wrench. Once again, proudly displayed, made in Elyria, Ohio. It's a little dirty, a couple issues with it, nothing bad. But I think we're going to do a special cleanup on this wrench today. Heck, we might even get the rest of the price sticker off of this in the process. So I tell you what, let's head up to the command center and let's talk about what we're going to be doing today with our rigid adjustable wrench. All right, folks. Hey, welcome back up to the command center. Once again, always good to see you in the command center. All right, let's fire up the computer and we will load up our video codec so we can bring up our video on the screen right now. All right, our rigid Model 712 adjustable wrench. As you can see, the Model 712 is the 12-inch version, and we can see the Rigid Tool Company of Elyria, Ohio, written right there. Let's bring it up, take a closer look, get the camera in focus. Really, we're not seeing any damage, just the usual dings and dents. I mean, we certainly see some surface rust on there, but no deep pitting. The stamping on the lettering looks nice and deep and in really good shape. Flip it over real quick on this side. The same sort of dings and dents and scratches. Once again, just the surface rust, but the lettering looks beautiful on that. Basically, no chunks missing, no cracks, no twists, no bends. Let's, we still got a pretty good shine. Like I said, dings and dents on there. Let's try the thumb screw. The thumb screw feels a little stiff. It's dirty. You can see it in there, that dirt in there. So we'll have to take that out. As you can see, the pin should just back out of there pretty easily, and we will be able to clean that up. Yeah, I think we've got a nice little project here. So I think what we will do is that we will just do a nice little cleanup. We'll get that thumb screw working nice and smooth, and then maybe we'll make it a little fancy because, we don't want to be outdone by 357 Magdad or anything and his fine work in that on his wrench. All right, so let's talk more shop. Let's get back down in that workshop and let's get things started. All right, step one, little disassembly, hopefully. Be nice and easy. Little screw right there. Hopefully it's not all jammed or stuck in there. So let's get to it. All right, that came apart pretty easy, no big deals there. Things are just a little greasy and grimy on the parts, so we're just gonna take some degreaser and just clean some things up, both on the parts and on the inside body of the wrench. So here we go.
Okay, so we've got it cleaned up, and I've just temporarily put it back together. It's already working 100% better. There was actually more than some simple grease on here. There was some sort of gunk, so you saw me pull out some stiffer wire brushes and then move on to the impact drill with some brushes on it, and then I even went to the Dremel to get in there. There was just some sort of stubborn gunk that simple degreaser wasn't going to get. And we kind of stopped with the Q-tips because I think on the inside here we got the dirt. Now we were getting to rust, which brings us to the next part, is that we're just going to do some quick rust removal on the handle and back on the inside of the wrench head. So yeah, that's where we are. All right, let's keep moving on. Okay, we got all of our rust removal down there with various wire wheels and everything. I am going to be painting this and finishing this, I think, to match the wrench that I got from the 357 Magdad. And so I'm going to be using a self-etching primer, so that'll get any other little residual rust out of there. So what we're going to do now, though, is that as I was working on the wire wheel, you notice it looks like the previous owners used this as a hammer a little bit. And since I'm putting this in the collection, I'm just going to take this over to the belt sander, and we're going to use an aggressive belt and take out some of the hammering effects. So let's get back over there, get ourselves an aggressive belt, get to the belt sander. Okay, we got the dents out of there. Remember, we're going to be painting this, so I didn't take it down to a shine, and it's going to fill in and cover up all of the rough spots there. So that looks good. You can see on the jaw, you know, this was abused, not abused, but it's definitely been used, probably slipped off a few nuts in its life and everything. I don't think I'm going to try to fix this right now. We are going to polish up the face of the wrench. We're not going to paint that part. We're going to polish this out, is probably with the fiber wheel, and the fiber wheel will probably take off that little, smooth out these edges, these problem edges. So we're not going to do the fiber wheel right now. We will fix those a little later. So I think our next step is to start prepping for painting. So let's go do that. All right, here is our plan for painting. We are going to emulate the paint job that 357 Magdad did on the rigid wrench that I got in his annual charity auction, and put it up on the screen here from an older picture. So we're going to emulate that a little bit. So let's start with the thumb wheel. We are going to paint that black, just using some black enamel. the body of the wrench, everything from here on back, we are going to paint a gloss orange. Both sides will be like that. We will be polishing the faces, and then we will paint in the lettering and everything. We will paint those black as well. So we'll probably do orange. I will then probably coat it with a couple coats of shellac. I'll either use some spray paint or I'll use this engine enamel, and then we'll paint in the letters, and we'll be able to wipe off the letters, any overpaint, with a towel that's got mineral spirits on it. And because we'll have shellac to the body over the orange, it won't take off the orange. So that is the plan, to get everything prepped for painting, and then we're going to put a base coat of self-etching primer. So on my wrench, on the polished parts, I'm using some masking fluid instead of tape. So this masking fluid is a latex. After, when it dries clear. I've already done this side. It's just drying up now. And you can, think of it like masking tape. After you're done painting, you just peel it off with your fingers. So a little masking fluid instead of painter's tape on the faces of the wrench there and on the inside. Okay, we've got all of our coats of spray paint on, and we've also spray painted on 3 coats of shellac right there. And the reason why we went ahead and put the shellac on is that shellac does not dissolve in mineral spirits, and we are going to paint the letters. Since they are embossed in, we will paint the letters with black and then use a little towel with mineral spirits to wipe off the overpainting, and therefore the orange painting will stay fine because it's under 3 coats of shellac. But first, we are going to peel off our layer of masking fluid and seeing what cleanup we might have to do. Okay, we got our masking fluid all scraped up there, and it's done a pretty good job of leaving. We pretty much just covered up the jaw part of the wrench. I mean, we certainly got to do probably a little tidying up, maybe with the razor blade, just to even things out. Maybe tidy up that hole a little bit, and little did make it on the inside of the jaw, but just some easy sandpaper or something. We'll get that up. So we'll tidy that up off camera, and then we will move on to doing our lettering. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you once again for joining me here in the workshop, the Raging Deacon workshop. And as we worked on another Tools of Ohio, there we go, right side up with our rigid adjustable wrench. Like I said, the big brother to 357 Magdad's pipe wrench and everything. So we're going to stick that in the collection. And who knows, maybe we'll get it out every once in a while for some use. All right, with that being said, I just want to remind you, hey, if you've got any extra or spare tools laying around the garage, listen, I know you have spare tools laying around the garage. So
I would like to encourage you to donate any extra tools that you have to a charity of your choosing, because a good tool is more than just a tool. A good tool is an opportunity, and everyone deserves a good tool. See you on the next one.